my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my work.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
This is Antonio and Anton. We back at you with another episode. And as we told you, we're going to be talking about a lot of hot topics. And everybody knows what the hot topic is right now.
We talking about Deion?
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Deion Sanders.
So everybody got a lot of mixed feelings about Deion. Even we done had this conversation about should he have done what he did? Should he have not did what he did?
I go back and forth, man. I really do.
So when I look at it, so obviously everybody know Deion left Jackson State to take a job at University of Colorado as the head football coach. A lot of people were giving him a lot of backlash because obviously, as we know, he left the HBCU.
He did.
And went to a larger university.
He got a bag. He got a real bag.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, he's going from what, $300,000 a year at Jackson State to $5 million a year.
Let's break it down though. It should have been more than $300,000. He was giving back half his salary to build up the sports program.
Yeah, he was, and there was also another clip of him saying that he thinks they were, or somebody was taking money off tickets being sold.
I saw the clip. Now my thing is, who was taking the money?
Oh no, that's a good question because he said that's a 60,000 or the stadium seats 60,000, and they told him they only sold 28,000 tickets, but he said it was a full stadium.
Every video I saw, the stadium was packed.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think a lot of those fans came specifically for Deion.
Oh yeah, man, Deion, he had theme music. He had number one recruit Travis Hunter. He had the people coming.
Yeah, and I think Deion, I don't know if I'm going to be reaching with this one, but I think Deion may be the most famous football player.
Man, he the Michael Jordan of football.
Yeah, I agree. And he was just so versatile. But when it comes to him leaving Jackson State, going to Colorado, how do you feel about that?
Man, how do I feel? Let's talk about it. So I was torn. Initially, I was like, Deion left Jackson State, I thought he was going to transform the HBCUs, but man, he did. But everybody thought he was going to bring on more coaches, more NFL players. It didn't go that way. But Deion made that school popular. He got good recruits in, and he brought a lot of money. So Deion got to make his money too.
I agree with that. I mean, I think he did transform. I think he brought a lot of light to HBCUs. I think he brought a lot of notoriety to HBCUs and got more players as far as recruits out of high school. I think he got a lot of them looking into HBCUs. And I think he did what he was put there to do. I think he was put there to bring awareness and make change. And now he said he felt like his job here is to make change. He felt like when God makes moves in his life, he feel like it's for a purpose. And I think he feel like his purpose is to go to Colorado and take on that next level, not only for himself, but then he's also bringing, obviously he's going to bring a lot of recruits there. As you said, Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is coming with him. His son's coming with him.
So was it about the money though? Let's talk about it. Let's dive deep in it. Do you think the money played a part?
I do. I think the money played a part. Obviously, because, like I said, you going from $300,000 a year to $5 million a year. Did that play a part? I'm pretty sure that played a part because I'm pretty sure if Colorado would have offered him the same thing he was getting paid at Jackson State, I don't know if he would have took it. But then again, he always said his goal was to get to a Power 5 school.
That's true. But didn't Nebraska give him an offer?
I heard Nebraska gave him an offer. I don't know what the specs behind it were.
That's true. Do you feel like he could have did more for the black schools?
No. So I think he did what he was put there to do. He was there to bring them awareness, and then when you look at the overall picture, he brought awareness to the HBCUs. He he obviously changed the culture at Jackson State 100%.
Over 100%. We can't deny that. My point is, Deion could have did more. He did a lot, but he could have simply like brought more recruits. He brought a lot, but he could have got more recruits to come to the HBCUs. Then he could have built that team up to be our top 25 school.
I get it, but they are not they're not FBS. I don't believe.
That's true.
So I think because I think ultimately his goal, because even look at it, when he goes to Colorado, Colorado was 1-11 last year. He has nothing to lose. If he goes in there and he goes 6-5 or 6-6, they're gonna say, "Oh, Deion's turning the team around already."
It's no expectations.
Exactly.
That's
so
the point.
So it's a weird win for him. So he could go in there if it takes it, because he already said, he made that clear. He said he wants to make change, but he did say in a press conference he's not going to put a timetable on it, which I think was smart on his behalf, because you know how some people are. Some people are like, oh, he need to go out and win a national championship like this year.
And that ain't gonna happen. But Deion Sanders coming in your house, recruiting you, he gonna get the top picks, the top prospects.
Oh, yeah, because he's already, like I said, he's taking Travis Hunter with him. He's taking Shador with him. And I think by him taking Shador with him, I think that's going to get Shador a lot more recognition, because Shador is good, and he was showing off at Jackson State. But I think by him being at a FBS school, I think that's going to get him a lot more recognition than he was getting at Jackson State.
That's true, because we gotta see can he play with that talent now.
Exactly. So now he's playing with nationwide talent. So I think it was overall. I think it was a good move. What do you feel about him? I know it was one guy who he called him. It was a defensive end. He had already committed to Colorado, and Deion pretty much rescinded his scholarship.
So Deion a competitor. If you ain't the best, he don't want you. He wants you to compete. So I mean, that's just part of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that 100%, because, like you said, he's a competitor. He wants the best, and he already told him that when he came in. He said, pretty much told them, enter the transfer portal if you ain't ready to put in this work. He said, pretty much told them, y'all were 1-11 last year. I didn't come up here to take on no losing culture, and I come to win. And we gonna win, and you gonna be down with the winning, or you can get out.
Do you feel like Colorado is gonna buy into Deion?
Oh yeah, I think they already have.
The way he moved with theme music and all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a choice, especially if he starts winning. I think if he starts winning, and I think they're not going to have a choice but to buy into Deion, especially over how bad they've been over the past few years.
It's gonna be a culture shock, man.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%. But if you look at the basketball game that he attended the other day, he walked in there, got his hoodie on, got his chains on, and everybody loved it. He got a standing ovation, him and Shador. I think he's going to bring something that they've never seen. But I also think as long as that comes with winning, they're going to adapt to it quickly.
I can agree, because you can get like the NBA players coming to the games, NFL players coming to the games for Colorado, and it's going to really boost their fan base, and the people wanting to come, people want their kids to go there and play for Deion.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. And I mean, look at all the players entering the transfer portal. The day he announced, obviously, once they found out it was coming close to that time where players are entering the transfer portal, but you got a lot of players entering the transfer portal because they want to play for Deion.
I know, man. And you know, it's a lot of recognition. You know, Deion gonna make sure they get NIL deals. He gonna make sure they get their money.
Yeah, because he already said that. He said he knows NIL is a big part of college football now, so he don't want to stop anybody from getting their money. You see Colorado's quarterback from last year enter transfer portal.
He got to. Deion said in the press conference, "Here you go, your quarterback."
He did, but he also did say he gonna have to work for it. But obviously, if you got a quarterback that went 1-11, and you got Shador who went undefeated last year, who has proven he could play, Shador is probably better than than the transfer.
Whoa, hold on, you're going too far. We don't know that.
That's true. That's true. It is a whole different level of competition.
That's true. But we know Travis Hunter could play on any level of competition. He was number one recruit for a reason.
Oh yeah, he could play, and he could play on both sides of the ball.
Both sides of that boy's serious.
So Do you think there's any other big names coming to Colorado that we know of right now? Just players into the transfer portal, such as Clemson quarterback.
Nah, he ain't going. He know who the quarterback is. It's Shador.
That's true. If Shador hadn't been named quarterback, or if Shador was already graduating, do you think he would transfer there, or do you think Clemson quarterback is doing this simply because he needs a new start?
He need a new start. He knew next year he won't gonna start.
Yeah. Because in the championship game, they benched him. What, second quarter?
Hey, they had to, man.
And yeah, because I mean, he hasn't played up to his potential this year. He's not doing. I guess he didn't live up to what they drafted him for.
Nah, not at all, man.
Or not drafted or recruited him for.
And since we talking about the top schools right now, let's talk about how Alabama is not in the Final Four teams.
Yeah, that obviously I can't stand Alabama. So anytime Alabama is not in, I'm happy.
Me too, man. Like, I can't stand Alabama because they always win it, and now with the NIL deals, they want to get mad at people. You know what I'm saying, for building up their programs.
Yeah, I've never liked Alabama. There's some good teams. There's some good teams in there this year. I think Georgia seems like the powerhouse right now, and obviously Michigan seems pretty good too.
No, we gonna see, man. Michigan always seems to fall short.
Yeah, Michigan, for whatever reason, they can never complete the big game, and I feel the same way with Ohio State, though. Ohio State chokes in the big games a lot.
Man, listen, they always choke. That's why Georgia is the favorite. Georgia should run through this and win the whole thing.
Yeah, but I guess it's possible TCU may come out and surprise somebody.
Cut it. TCU should not be in there. I understand they had a great year, but look at their team. Look at the other teams. They ain't built for this.
But if you didn't put TCU in, then that would have put Alabama in. Because didn't Alabama end at number 5, or did Alabama end lower?
Man, they gave Alabama the number 5. They just gave it to them, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see, instead of TCU, I would have loved to see USC, which is why I was hoping they were going to win.
I agree, man.
Because I like Caleb Williams. He plays. I like the way he plays. He plays with a lot of heart. He plays with a lot of passion.
He won the Heisman for a reason. To me, like, coming back next year, USC got to be one of the favorites.
Oh yeah, I definitely think so, because he is coming back next year, right?
Yep.
Caleb Williams, yeah.
Yep.
And one thing I've never gotten, since we're talking about Caleb Williams and the Heisman, one thing I have never understood: how do you give the Heisman trophy and then a best quarterback trophy? Obviously, because the Heisman is the best player in the country. So how do you give Max Duggan the best quarterback trophy?
Man, I don't understand it. The voting, everything is different for me. Like, I feel like if he won the Heisman, he should have won the best quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way, especially if you're giving the Heisman to a quarterback, then obviously he's the best quarterback in the country because he's the best player in the country.
That makes perfect sense to me.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping.
Yo, that's wild, man. That's why you should be on the committee, man. That's common sense.
I think with this new 12 team thing,
too many teams.
I don't think so. I like it because I think it gives them teams that, because you got a bunch of teams that had 2 losses that could really prove themselves, such as Tennessee. I would have loved to see Tennessee in it.
Can they beat Georgia?
Obviously, we seen they couldn't.
My point exactly. Like, it don't matter. Making it 12, they still gonna lose to Georgia.
But I think you're gonna have those. I think you're gonna have those sleeper teams that are gonna either pop up, that are just gonna pop up out of nowhere, or them teams that let 1 or 2 games slip. Now they're not completely out of it just because they let 1 or 2 games slip.
That's true. But to be the best, you gotta beat the best.
That's true.
If you got 2 losses, you ain't beating the best.
You think within Deion's 5-year contract, he's gonna make it into a playoff? So obviously, one of them top 12 teams.
So I will say this: do I think Deion is gonna be there at Colorado the whole time? No. Nick Saban got a short window. This is my conspiracy theory, people. This is my theory. Nick Saban is going to concede to the Deion, because you know they got the Aflac commercials together, or Dabo.
I can see Dabo over Nick Saban.
Over Deion?
No, I'm saying I could see, if Deion left and went to a bigger school, I could see him going to Clemson before Alabama.
Why?
Simply because look at his views and Dabo's views. They're very in line. They're both very religious, and they both put faith on the forefront.
I get that, right? I'm saying taking over. Nick Saban he got what, 4 or 5 years left?
Yeah.
That lines up with Deion's contract. So Deion can go take over Alabama once he retires.
I don't think Deion will go to Alabama. That's just my thoughts. But let's say Deion took Colorado to because obviously if he leaves within that 5 years, he has to pay a certain amount back to Colorado.
That's true.
If he takes them to a top 12 spot, I think if he even gets to a top 25 spot, it's a win for him. But if he gets them to that spot, say year 3 or 4, and he's doing it consistently, say year 3 or 4, he gets them to that top spot, do you think he re-signs another contract and they give him more money if he's constantly showing a winning habit?
If he's making $5 million a year right now, it's probably going to be 10, 11, 12.
Because even at that $5 million, I believe that puts him in the top 25 paid coaches in NCAA.
I agree. He proved he can coach. He proven he can recruit. If he can do it on this level, he's proven that he's the best.
That's true.
Or one of the best at recruiting and getting talent.
That's true. But yeah, I think back to our original point, I think he made the move that was good for him.
Okay. I can agree with that. I mean, that was the best move for him and his family.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you got to think about it. He's looking at his kids too. He knows Shador is about NFL ready.
Hey, look, man, I don't know his other son's name. That boy hard hitting safety.
Yeah, he is. I think, is he graduating this year?
I'm not sure, man.
Okay.
Because if he's taking him too, that's another position that's already scratched off.
Yeah, that's true. He also had, I know he had Travis Hunter. I believe he had another corner that was coming with him also.
Yep. Because one of the corners from Colorado already got in the transfer portal.
Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, I think it was a good move for Deion. I think Deion made the best move for him and his family. I think he made the best move. Overall that he could make, because at the end of the day, he got to be able to look at himself in the mirror and say, "Yeah, I made the best move."
Yep, and did what's best for his family.
That's true. So you know what you got to do.
Maybe we got to give that man his crown.
Give him his crown.
Deion don't need a crown. He already got crowns. He got chains. He got everything.
He got everything. But like we told you before, this is more than a podcast. You see what we just did with Deion.
We gave him his crown. We handed him out.
Hand him out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to